Okay, so I am here with the Antigravity studio. I'm going to start a new tutorial. So let's see if this works. I'm gonna drop a video here, the loading file, and here it is. That's my video. Okay, this is over here loaded. In order for me to work on this, I have to press that plus. I press the plus sign to go to add my video to the timeline. Now, this video is too long, so and I'm gonna cut it over here. So this over here, I'll make it start at this spot in the timeline. This icon here, like a C with 3 dots on the left, trim beginning. So I click on that and it already removed that part that we don't want. And then we can make this video to be 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And I use the other, this one is the trim end. You click on that, so that's my video right here to work with. So this is the project. Okay, the project gives me these features here. This one is a split, a slice. This one is beginning and end. This one is to delete a scene picked. This one is to make the clip faster or slower. And this one is to add a keyframe. This one is a deep track. When you select something within the clip to track it. And this one convert to adaptive keyframes. I really don't know much about this one, but I know about a keyframe and about split and added the different things. So when you click in here, you have these options over here on the right. You can look in the front view. You can look rear view. You can look left view, right view, and overhead view. Okay. On a view angle, you can have tiny planet, mega view. You can have ultra view. You can have de-warp view, which it gives you a straighter angle, and linear. It seems to zoom in a little bit in order to compensate for the curvature of the 360. But in either of these views, you can still, with your mouse, you can still move around, and with the wheel of the mouse, you can zoom in and out and move things around the way you want it. Okay? Now, to add a keyframe, they start the video here. Let's make this ultra. Okay, ultra wide. Okay, so I start the video ultra wide, and then when you're ready, like let's say that I want to see more of this section, I can split. Now notice that this section here is very small on the timeline. You can make that spread across your screen so you're able to see better where you're splitting. Now you split over here, you added a split, and over here with your mouse you want to show more of this, right? And then you play, okay, and you show more of that. Now you pause, you want to add a keyframe, okay. You can also remove by right click. You copy keyframe or delete keyframe, but on the keyframe you determine that you want to see the front view, okay, and you keep playing. No, I'm updating my anti-gravity drone as I do this tutorial. That's why this smells. And my dogs, they bark at anything. Okay, stop. Add another keyframe. And now I want to see overhead. And then you keep playing. Go back to play. You notice when you add keyframes is a sudden drastic change, but when you play over the changes you've made, it will be a smooth transition on the things you changed. There's we're approaching a keyframe here. And nothing happened, right? Nothing happened. But it slowly gives you that. Add another keyframe. Let's see what happens. If I do rear view and play. Now over here we have a slice. On this slice I can add a transition. On the transitions I have all these. You can click on the transition and see what it does, and it has a detailed information about it. And there are some transitions who are 360 transitions. This one, for example, it was slide up, so you can grab and drop right there on that split, on that slice, and let's see what it does. So that's like you do a manual mode, acro mode kind of thing. That keyframe is not doing anything, so delete keyframe. Let's add another keyframe here. I don't want to see left. No. No. Okay, I'm seeing the right view. Okay. So let's see if this did any changes. display. You have the transition worked. The keyframe did not do anything here. So much for keyframe. Let's do a planet, but I'm using the wheel of the mouse to make that change, and let's see if that will do it. Okay, transition coming up, boom. Yeah, that keyframe is not doing anything for me. So I'm going to delete that keyframe. And a slice. Let's add a keyframe, boom. And do this. See what happens. Slice. Keyframe. Nothing. Let's on another keyframe here and do this. That. Let's see what it does. So I use that. Yeah, that one worked. Okay. So this keyframe is not. This one is effective. Let's do another one. Real close by it. And then you want to do this. Okay, let's see if it works. That keyframe did this thing, and that keyframe did it this thing. Okay. Well, sometimes the keyframe is glitchy. And if the keyframe doesn't work, you can always okay, that's changing according to the next keyframe, right? Yeah. You can do a slice here and add blur rotation. Let's do a blur rotation. See what that looks like. Nothing. Okay. I made a slice there. Let's do a let's do this. See what happens. Okay. That's another keyframe. So you gotta click on the timeline in order for the keyframe to show up. Okay. All right. Let's see if it does change. Have this. Yeah. So right now is looking at the left view, and in another keyframe I want to see the rear view. Let's see if it works. If it works, okay. Now let's transition. Okay, I need another transition here. So let's do row on here. Okay, that's row. It worked. Okay, the keyframe worked. Okay. And now I can do a split. Do this. Right. And do that. Okay. And then stop. Do not slice. Do this. Pull the transition there. Let's see how this section is working. All right, keyframe there worked. I didn't do what I wanted, huh? Not a keyframe. Do this. Add a keyframe and do this. Yeah, you have to play between slicing keyframe and changing in here with your mouse. Another thing you can do is like you slice here and you slice there and select this section and make this section faster. Okay, and let's see what it does. It would just go faster at that spot. Now, we need a transition there because it's bumpy, right? So the transition here. Make a transition there. Let's see what that. This one is like a. This transition is going to be cool. Then add a keyframe. Click here. Add a keyframe. And looking back. Okay. Keyframe. Let's see what it does. There we go. Keyframe. Planet. Keyframe. This. Let's see what happens. There we go. And then you slice there, and you want this to be you slice there, and this to be 4 times faster. All right, and let's see what it does. And you're probably gonna need this and this. Okay, that's the transition there. Ooh. And another keyframe. Whoa. Keyframe, and I want to see real. Okay. There we go. And then slice, make that transition, and add another keyframe and change it to this. Okay, let's see what happens. Something like that. I mean, you got to play with it, and after you're done, you add your music. You can play over here, see what it sounds like. Earthquake. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Add it. Okay. And you can add this. Two. That's it. And then over here, this little thing, you fade. Now, there's no fade in here, so you can do it slice. Not that. You slice over top. Slice that. And this, you change the opacity. Something like that. You make it adjust. There we go. So what you do is tint this. I want to make the exposure like that. Highlight. All right. And you make a transition there. Let's see what it does. That's it. Now, when you export, you name it Antigravity A1 tutorial 3, and I like it to be good resolution. Bitrate 200, 265, and export. Boom. And then over here you see how big the file is going to be. 3 GB. I didn't have to be that big. The bitrate and but I want to see what it does. The best possible resolution and information. Now, when you export this is going to be a 2D movie. If you don't like that fade, if you don't like that music, you can replace it in Final Cut Pro or other editing tool. But that's pretty much it for the project, using the keyframes, the slices, transitions, adding music. You can add text, you can add information, telemetry. Once you export this, you can bring it back to the media, and the media you can add telemetry. I don't know if you can add telemetry here. I forgot to see. But I hope this video helps a bit. It's always good to go over here and watch tutorials on this little book icon, and you can learn from there too. Okay, it's done. That is saved to the desktop. There we go. Let's see how it goes.
You have to understand how things are up here.
Nights like these are therapy. I feel my sorrows fading away. I close my eyes to see the light that's shining deep inside me. I just can't sleep, get lost in these moments.
That's it. All right. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial.